Thank you for inviting me to participate in this exciting session on a subject very dear to my heart. When I received the invitation to speak here today, the organizer urged me to focus on my feminist vision of labor, and it's what I'm going to talk now. Let's begin. Why is women's work often seen to be worth less than men's, both economically and socially? Why are men and women directed or drawn toward different professions and different sections of the labor market? And why, when they hold the same profession, are they given different tasks? Why are there more poor women than more poor men? Why is the prevalence of the work-related sick leaves higher among women than among men? Sociologists, politicians, economists, and feminist researchers are among those we've been trying to answer these questions using a variety of explanatory models. I belong to a group of feminist researchers who argue that one of the most important causes of gender equality is the division of labor between the sexes, based on a separation of so-called productive and reproductive labor, and the idea that the reproductive labor is both economically and socially worth less than the productive labor. Reproductive labor refers to the labor processes and tasks which relate to humans and human life, such as caring for other people's needs. It's about reproducing human life and personal relationships. It's about working for and acting on behalf of other people's well-being. Historically, women have been the ones responsible for the reproductive work. Productive labor refers to the manufacturing and production of goods and services. Both men and women have devoted their work to the production of goods and services, though they have often been asked to produce different things and perform different tasks. Ever since the birth of capitalism and wage labor, men have been seen as having the primary responsibility for the productive work. Women have taken the major responsibility for reproductive labor in the home and in society, all because they are women. This is based on a strange notion about how caring for the home, children, sick people, and the elderly that is caring are somehow built in the female's nature. The reproductive labor has given women neither a higher social status nor material resources. On the contrary, it has limited their mobility and rights and has made them partially or fully dependent on men. It has also devalued their work whenever it has been carried out in the form of paid labor on the labor market. This state of affairs refers on the notion that productive labor generates economic value and affluence, which in the turn has led to men and women's work being equated with economic success and prosperity. I want to draw your attention to the fact that this has not only marginalized women, but that it has also marginalized the very nature of reproductive work. The marginalization of care work in the capitalist economic system, which chases after profit and does everything to lower cost, represent a serious and alarming development in our society. Human life is a whole. In order to maintain human life, we need basic necessities such as food and a roof above our heads, but it also requires a huge amount of labor, household chores, and care work. This is the only way we can address people's needs and see to their well-being. It is this type of work which requires solidarity and a concern for others. Caring and caring work are the key to the society's survival. I belong to the sphere of feminism, which regards feminism as a political vision for the creation of a better world and a more human society, and not as an individualistic project created to help women reach the same position as men. Based on this vision, we need to reflect on how labor are organized and resources are distributed in our society. Human life and dignity should consist the value foundation for our society. In order to nurture it, we need to recognize labor practices and society's resources, reorganize. There are several sociological and psychological studies which show that humans are shaped by the life they lead. Our experience shapes how we come to understand the world and the things we think are important and the things we think are less important. People's, many of them women's, daily experience with taking responsibility for other people's needs, the hungry belly, the body in need of washing, the sad child in need of comforting, social relationships in need of attention, the sick mother in need of nurturing, equips them with the skill that allow them to observe and see other people's needs and take care to meet these needs. We need to organize our lives and our work in such a way that everyone, to the best of their ability and regardless of sex and background, take responsibility for the people's needs, both formally and informally. During our life, we all need someone who cares for us, who look after our health and well-being. We need to be surrounded by people who see us and give us a helping hand when we need it. To do this work is also a necessity if we wish to retain our humanity, both as individuals and as society. Caring for people's dignity and well-being should constitute the superior principle driving our economy, labor-focused and social arrangement. This principle should act as a compass in our society. If we replace the growth ideology present on increasingly tougher global competition with this principle of caring, we also lay the foundation of a sustainable coexistence with nature and the sustainable utilization of the earth's resources. A society built on respect and care for human beings, their dignity and their well-being, does not view the needs of elderly and the sick as costly problem to be dealt with. This society values work in accordance with its contribution to humankind and well-being society. In this society, it is not just women, but everyone else and nature are winners. Thank you.